Hello. I hope everyone's doing well. I know it's been a while since I last did a video. The past few weeks have been really busy for me. Unfortunately, not necessarily for the right reasons. Indeed, I'm going through some health issues, and this has been diagnosed like 3.5 weeks ago. The bad news is that the health issue is a pretty serious one. It's a lymphoma, so a type of cancer. The good news is, otherwise, all the health tests that were done do show that my body is in rude health. So aside from that disease, everything's fine. The other good news is, sorry, I'm juggling with my phone. It's the microphone, I mean. It is the type of cancer I have is one that is very easily curable. I've already started a treatment, so everything was taken in charge very quickly. And emotionally, I'm in an extremely good state of mind too. So I do have no fear about what it means, or, no fear of dying, let's put it that way. Let's be direct. I know I'm going to go through it. It's just a matter of going through the process. And the treatment I started already earlier this week. My body is responding quite well to it. Of course, it's a very heavy type of treatment because it mixes immunotherapy with chemotherapy, and it's likely to be a tiring one because it's going to span over not too long, about 4 months. But then there may be another couple of months through which I need to fully recover. The idea for me is to keep a degree of activity because I'm that type of person, but really manage my health and my rest. So it's important that I look after myself as best as I can in what is an absolutely unexpected twist in life. First of all, lymphoma, I knew nothing about. Of course, just not the kind of things you do research on before it sort of strikes you. And it's kind of I was told it's quite rare. Basically, it's your lymphatic system that has some issues. And there are several types of lymphoma, and the one I have is considered to be aggressive. Yet at the same time, because it is aggressive, that's why it responds quite well to treatment, because it's quite easy to target the cells that are not healthy. The treatment in itself, it's a bit heavy. And also, I've got no family history of cancer or things like that, aside from people maybe, when they get to a very old age. So for me, it was never in my mind the possibility of being diagnosed with such a disease at the age of 40 never crossed my mind. The way it appeared, just to give you a bit of background without saying too much, because as you know me, I'm quite a private person at the end of the day. Yes, I may be on YouTube, but there are aspects or parts of my life that I do like to keep private. It's just I had some kind of nodules or cysts that appeared a bit randomly overnight, and we tried to figure out for quite a few weeks what those were, until one of these became really inflamed and starting to grow, and we had to remove it, which means I now have a big scar on my shoulder. Actually, if you go back to the last video on the channel, you might notice a slight slump on my shoulder. That was that at the time. And once it got analyzed, the result came very quickly that this was not looking good. So, all this to say that, of course, it's a moment in life that sort of gives me an opportunity to really reflect. And I'm not really reflecting on death because I've got no fear of death and I know I'm not going to die. It's something that I don't feel within me. Compared to 2018, when I had like my important health issue that had created the near-death experience and all the journey of writing the novel The Man Who Kept Dying and so on, I knew before it happened that something was wrong within my body. I could not say why, I could not tell why, but there definitely was something in me that I knew was present. And I had that sort of impending sense of doom, so to speak, but not impending like it's going to happen within the next hour. More like it's been a few weeks, like I feel there's something in me that's just not right. And boom, one day it happened. This time I've got no such feeling and I've got no fear at all. So rather than this situation making me reflect on death, it's actually making me reflect on life. Because I know that for the next few months, and in a way, thank God it's winter, there'll be a bit less to do, this is going to be quite an introspective time for myself. And I really look at, I'm not going to be able to do as much as I can, maybe not. I need to rest, I need to look after myself. But what are the things like I really desire to do that I have not done? And I really come back to simple things, which is quite interesting. And in my case, and everyone will be different, I'm not passing any judgment, so please don't judge back. I'm just sharing my own experience. Everyone goes through their own experience, especially in that type of situation. I can understand why it would be very painful if you've gone through it yourself, if you've had family members, relatives, friends, whomever that you know. So I'm also taking a moment to really be grateful for my own situation, my life situation, the fact that I'm in a good position. And I know that not everyone necessarily is in as good a position as I can be. And I really cannot fault the French system on that front, because from the moment I was diagnosed to starting the treatment, literally 3 weeks have gone past, which is very, very fast. And it's taken in very early too. So early enough that nobody is worried. Let's put it that way. But coming back to life, and what it made me realize is it's not for me about oh, I haven't said enough I love you to my loved ones. Not at all, because we speak on a regular basis and they know the love I've got for them, and it's just the nature of the relationship I have with those people. So that I'm not feeling like. If I were to go tomorrow, I'd be like, I've lived a good life. Yes, I do still have more fire in the engine and more desires to do things and to experience life. But that would be it, and it would not be the part that would kind of make me sad. What's making me sad, I would say, what's making me sad about myself is more little things that I've not treated myself to. And I'm not talking about buy yourself a sports car, those kind of things. No, I'm really talking about little things in life. And I want to share a couple of examples of that. The first one simply being the fact that there's a restaurant in town, and I've been meaning to go to that place since May 23rd, 2023. So a year and a half. And I was just thinking the other day, whilst sometimes you just lay in bed and you've got nothing to do because your body is tired. I was like, gosh, yes, I could go to that restaurant tomorrow, but I want to be very careful about my diet at the minute. So I'm not going to go out, at least not to start with. I want to be really, make sure that my body really cleans things properly. So the idea of going out when your immune system is super low, it's just not a good idea for me, at least in my opinion. So that's my personal choice. But I was thinking Vincent, how many times did you think about, I've got a day off, or I can just, take a lunch break. All I need to do is go into town, which is literally a 10-minute drive, go to that place, or I could book a table and go there. And I've never done it. And the reviews about this restaurant are good. And I even know people who've gone to that restaurant recently and have told me it's a good one, Vincent, you should go. So I look at myself and I'm like, why did I stop myself from just having that little life experience? I guess I always find reasons to be busy. I guess I always find something better to do, in my opinion. But it's interesting, is it not, that when those little moments do happen, you just look at simple things in life. And Maybe it's not a fancy restaurant, by the way, I'm saying. It's just like very kind of down-to-earth restaurant, and that's the type of cuisine that I like, and that's why I really want to go and visit that place. And you might say, okay, that's a bit stupid, Vincent, like a restaurant, like literally. But that's what's personal to me, and that's how I look at the situation. I'm also looking at a couple of places that I would like to visit, and that I have not. And I went and visited a lovely place this summer, and I felt there was a bit of unfinished business, so I wanted to go back. All I had to do, literally, was drive 45 minutes to get there, any day I wanted. I did not do it. And no regret, in the sense that I'll go through the treatment and then I'll be able to go again and probably have a better appreciation for those things. But what I'm trying to say through all that is, I know that once I've gone through it or gone over it, my appreciation for little things will completely change. And in a way, I'll be really pushing myself to say, don't wait. And it's the sort of message I just want to share through that video is, literally, if there's something that you fancy doing or you wish you would do, just don't wait, do it. Don't do as I did, which is like always finding excuses to be busy, about this, about that, always being in a way perhaps a bit frustrated about life, and that's the reason why I'm like, just chill, relax, enjoy. I should have gone to that place. I will have many occasions to, but it's interesting that the situation has brought that, or has put some light onto those aspects of myself. So that's it, very quick update. It's to explain, if you see less videos in the coming weeks, I may be tired, I may not have any desire to record a video. Of course, you understand that over the past few weeks, I was so busy. Literally, there was 1 week where every single day I had minimum one hospital appointment. Also, I may lose my hair, I may look very different, which is fine, I don't really care, it happens. But more for you, so you know, if you see me looking slightly different. That's it. I'm going to resume with the series of videos I wanted to do initially and that I had to pause for those unforeseen circumstances. And one last point. Feel free, if you fancy, and only if you wish to, send me positive vibes because I will welcome them. Don't feel sad for me, is the only thing I'm asking to people. I'd rather receive positive energies than negative ones. Nothing wrong with negative energies, just a preference, and I'm stating my choice. Anyway, lots of love to you all. Enjoy life. Don't wait if you want to do something, and go enjoy it. Actually, right away. See you next time.